And we're live. Woohoo!
All right, we're live.
Why does it say 27 seconds already? That's wow.
Oh, that's weird.
That is weird.
Hasn't been going the whole time?
That's kind of scary.
Because I just stared at the screen.
Yeah,
while I was
probably
waiting.
not. I don't know. Who knows?
All right, well, welcome.
Welcome, everybody. We are basically going to be
We
talking
are
about a couple
changed.
things. Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to be
Just
talking
waiting to
about a couple things. Yeah, I know. He was actually in Miami this weekend
Luke
with a
Radowski.
huge
the
protest.
million maskless march.
Mhm.
But I heard it was about 300.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't know if there's a million people, but definitely 300 or something. I don't know. That's what I heard. I saw some
Something like
pictures.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What's up, all the early people? We have
So,
Watch
welcome.
Tech. I don't even know how to say that. Watch Tech Bear, JC, C3 BTC,
Welcome from
Charles. So
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, what? And Robert
Thanks,
Friel. Thanks,
Robert.
Robert. Wow.
How to look at that?
I don't. How does he know? Like that we're
look
like
at
you know what I
it.
mean? Like I think like oh, okay, it's not a usual time that we're streaming, but yet there he is.
Yeah,
Boom.
happy Sunday.
Thanks, Robert.
You're getting in some I guess some wholesome talks on your
Wholesome
Sunday
talks. Yeah.
as tradition.
Yeah.
All right, so I wanted to talk about the event. I mean,
Yeah.
we wanted to talk about the event.
We got a lot to talk about because we both the past event we want to talk about, which is the event with Liberty Doll, and then we have a
first
new
event we've ever done.
Right.
Hosted. I think
Mhm.
I think the first one would have been Red Flag Reality in Vegas last year if it
Mhm.
wasn't canceled. That would have been
Mhm.
our first one.
Right.
But this one with Liberty Doll became our first one. So
Right.
that was really fun, and we definitely want to talk about it. And we want to talk about our next event. So our second event.
Right. Yeah, we have actually. It went so well that we're like, okay, we're gonna keep doing this because the first one we weren't sure how it'd be received, and whenever you do a new type of event, especially after all the shutdowns and craziness around everywhere else, you just don't know. You don't know if people are going to be willing to come out or drive out and stuff. And surprisingly, it was actually sold out, and we had a really great time with so many people there. So we're excited to talk about that and talk about the upcoming event, which will be not for a few months, but definitely upcoming with Spike here. It's going to be July 17th. So we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, right after 4th of July.
All right. And thank you so much for that super sticker, Patriot Paladin. Much appreciated.
Oh, I see the stickers.
Yeah,
They're
needs some
so
pew pew
cute.
stickers. Oh, yeah. She has to look elsewhere on her phone to actually see the sticker, but yeah.
Look, you can see.
Oh, nice. Well, those are cool stickers.
Get Gup.
Nice.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, in terms of the event with Liberty Doll, it was a blast to say the least. So you should definitely catch us up on what you were thinking, going through the talk and stuff like that. I'm going to share actually a picture while you do that.
Okay. Well, so that was my first talk at my own event. It was also my first event. And if you see this picture, you can actually see on the whiteboard where I wrote. So where we were was this classroom, and gosh, it brought me back to the days of public school indoctrination.
Scary.
I was like, wow, I feel like I need to draw on the whiteboard or something and lay out a lesson over here. So I did. So I put Liberty Doll and the Philosopher, and then I put self-knowledge, self-care, self-love. Anyway, that was the point of my speech. And the way it went was I had coffee before, and it was strong coffee, like New York style straw coffee or coffee. But and I'm not really used to caffeine. And anyway, so I was a little jittery, and I did my best. And it was kind of funny because there was when the talk started, I was the first one to go, and there was just a few people out of all the people that got tickets, and it finally got to everyone being there or full capacity when I was in the middle of my speech. So during my speech, there was one person coming in at a time and finding a seat.
We were worried that nobody, all of a sudden there's nobody there. There's one person who came, and we're like, what's going on?
Yeah, there's 3 people, and we're like, all right, well, it's time to start. So I just started talking, and it was just kind of funny and awkward. I'm like, okay, weird. I guess we got ghosted. But then people started showing up.
Right. And then everyone
came in, but it was just one by one. And so I couldn't help but be a little
Yeah.
distracted.
Within 10 minutes,
But-
basically, a flood of people started coming in. So I guess they got caught in traffic or something, but you know, then it all filled back up. So it's like,
It's like
okay,
a game weekend or something. I was like, why is it so busy? But
Yeah.
apparently there was some games going on.
whatever that means, I don't know.
Some kind of games,
hmm
football or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I talked about just like the focus on philosophy and self-knowledge and why it's so important to really like take care of yourself and first and foremost, and just this whole idea that we should enjoy our lives, like we are the only ones in control of our own lives, so let's make the most of it. And before you can really be an influence anyway, you need to really know yourself and have taken care of your own needs first. You know, whether you're well fed, you have a roof over your head, you know, you're not worried about food, only then can you really effectively help and inspire other people. So that was the whole point of my talk, and it was really fun. I liked looking around at different people and like seeing everyone's faces and seeing different smiles as it resonated with people. And then we had Q&A, and that was fun
hmm
to answer different questions. And also, no one wore a mask. One person came in with the mask. He looked around and he took off the mask. It was great.
He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
We
no.
shook hands. A lot of people shook hands. They asked questions. Everyone felt comfortable. I really want to make sure everyone felt like, you know, this is a safe space. No, I'm just kidding. But like that they really felt, you know, safe and like that it's fun. Like just be yourself and, you know, meet people, and otherwise no one looked sick, you know.
No, yeah. As far as I know, no one was sick
No
or
one
got
was
sick or anything like that,
coughing
of
or
course.
sneezing. And
No, yeah.
yeah, it was nice. I hope for the people that went, and based on the people that, you know, said they would want to come back, it seemed like a lot of people got just a feeling of like being free, and just like it was nice to like see other humans and have contact.
Right. Absolutely. And it was funny too,
Yeah.
because originally you were going to do a separate speech from Liberty Doll in a sense, like
Mhm.
kind of like you do one at a time. Then all of a sudden you kind of change it up. So talk about that.
Oh, like how we were gonna
Yeah.
just separate speeches.
Yeah.
and
Originally you're going to do separate
questions.
speeches kind of thing. And then,
Yeah, it was I don't know, it was fun. I felt like with Liberty Doll up there, she felt like a true partner. It was really fun. Like I also enjoyed turning and be like, oh hey, it's Liberty Doll, you know. And like we answered questions together too, so it was fun.
yeah. It worked out because at first I turned because I was like, you know, checking people in outside, and all of a sudden I turned, I'm like, wait, why is she still up there?
Me?
Yeah, because
Oh.
you were both up at the same time and stayed there, and I wasn't expecting that. I was like thinking they're gonna
Oh.
do like one and then the other, and I was gonna count them down, but then it ended up being that they just decide to like go. You both
Oh,
were
yeah,
like,
we
oh, okay,
stayed
we'll
up
just
there
go stay
together.
here and like bounce off each other. I'm like, that works too. That
I
sounds good to
actually
me.
didn't know that. I thought we
Yeah.
were both gonna stay up there. Okay, so
No.
we had different. I see.
Well, I mean, yeah,
It
but
was fun.
but it was great though. It actually worked out
Yeah.
perfectly. It was awesome, and people loved it because they could, you know, ask you at the same time, like both of you,
Uh-huh.
and that was really cool. So.
Yeah.
And also hanging out after was a lot of fun because, you know, even after we were after the session, we could hang out outside in the huge range. And for people who hadn't been to this range before, it's like one of the top 5 largest indoor ranges, and it is like literally incredible to be in. So people really enjoyed hanging out at the tables and just, you know, talking afterward and catching up with everybody who's there. So that was really a lot of fun.
Yeah. You should look at that comment right
Oh yeah, I'll take a quick
from the
hiatus from this.
deactivist.
He says, if you're the pho, is Jack the bean sprouts a delicious brown sauce? I think
would
I'm the
say
beef ball
bean
personally.
sprouts.
I'm the beef ball.
Oh, I was like bean sprout. But beef balls was not an option.
It's not, but I can add it because
I can
have the
assure you
power.
it's not the brown sauce, because
I have the power.
I wouldn't want to be with brown sauce, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But bean sprouts are crunchy. And they have vitamin C or something.
Maybe.
Or D. Something.
They might have some vitamins. But in any case.
Yes, please. All right.
Praise. So after the
praise.
talk, something happened
Yeah.
that was magical. When we went to go shoot at the range, because again, there was 3 sessions to the event.
Yeah.
And we went to go to the range, and then all of a sudden, Jesse Beak, which, you know, I could say because obviously he's all good.
Oh well, he is
Yeah.
a Target Club member.
He is. Yeah, he is a member, and he obviously want to drop his name drop there since he shared his business cards for training, stuff like that.
Yeah, Jesse was really
he
cool.
came in clutch with some
cool
great
guy.
stuff. So basically, Jesse,
some
again, to our
stories.
surprise, he came in with like, how many guns was it?
Oh my gosh. He does competitions. He also trains women in self-defense, but he does competitions. So like he has some nice weapons there.
He had like 9 guns he brought in, right?
Oh, something I think
like
he had
that. 9.
He brought in like over 1,000 rounds of ammo, and he's like, I'm not leaving with any ammo. If there's any ammo, you guys,
yeah, no guarantee for any future event, of course. It was just
right.
It was a nice surprise that one of the people who came actually hooked up everybody who was shooting on the firing line with a bunch of cool guns to shoot and ammo. And since ammo is extra scarce, it was like amazing.
Competition guns. It was so smooth.
Some tricked out. I think it was like a Springfield, like 1911.
It was a Springfield, 1911 XD5, something like that, and he had like a charging handle on the back. Well, it was more like a thing that like goes on the back of the slide.
Okay. Yeah.
At the rear.
Yeah.
So it was easy to just pull. Yeah, and it had a charging handle.
Right.
Oh, I could shoot that all day. It was like a 45, and I was like, whew, this feels smooth.
Right. Even though it's 45, it was like super tricked out.
Yeah. So it was really fun. He also had a rifle.
And then, and in addition to him, other people brought some cool guns to shoot. Didn't someone bring an MPX, like the John Wick gun, like that he used? Like and you shot that, it had the off-sight rail and the red dot.
Oh yeah, and it was off-sight. Wow, that was so cool. Yeah, people really enjoyed like how it worked was like everyone got in, the RSO explained the rules, and then everyone like had their own lane. And then everyone first just kind of shot their own and then just like got some warm up with, of course, their own guns. And then like they would stop, put it down, and like, make it safe. And then like be like, hey, you want to shoot mine? And then, like it was really fun. Like everyone had a blast just shooting each other's guns. I shot someone's like small 380, Springfield concealed carry. I'm like, that's a long
like
trigger.
That's a gun I don't want to shoot. But okay.
That's like oh no, there's nothing left, but that's not my first choice.
No.
But it was really fun. And then also I shared mine. I shared my Walther PPQ M5 match. And I was just so proud. I was like, isn't that accurate? And so it was really fun to shoot that. It's 9mm.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't even shoot my my Onk stuff.
Right. But you also shot the buck mark. You brought that too, right? A little bit.
Yeah. A 22 competition, 22 LR.
And Browning. Then when you turned around in the range, who did you see suddenly appear?
I actually have a video, but basically,
yeah, skip the video for now. But we didn't load that up, so we're gonna skip it.
Okay. Well, so I was just like really enthralled by the the guns and the shooting and the everything, and then I turned and then I see a smile in the window. It's like, hey, and it was Tom Woods.
Yeah, Tom Woods all of a sudden pops in behind. That was really funny.
That was really fun. So
after y'all wrapped up with
Mark Tanzer was there too.
Shooting, yeah, he was. Well, this Mark Tanzer is actually a key part of the rest of the story when he comes in in just a little bit. What happened after you went to the range?
This feels like a funny therapy session. Just like, so what happened after that?
I'm just trying to jog your memory, see how far it goes. That's all. Yeah.
Hey, Jack, what happened after that?
Oh, I know. But do you remember?
Yes, I just told you about Tom Woods and Mark Tanzer and Jesse. Okay.
So after you clean up from the range, VIP lounge, what happened?
Well, I was so tired from giving a talk, the coffee, and being at the range. That was really fun too, by the way. I just like laid down and there was like several really nice couches and it was so comfortable, and I just laid down and like people came up and they're like, hey, and then eventually I got some energy and then I walked around. I was like, eventually I sat down next to Tom Woods. I was like, hey, Tom Woods. And then some other people were like, whoa, that's Tom Woods. So that was fun.
That's fun.
Oh, on the way to the VIP lounge, someone was leaving. I forgot his name, but I think he was with the LP Mises Caucus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but he had. You could see the pictures. It was like something about brass.
Mm.
And then, like, he had a Coleon Noir hat.
Right.
I will
Yep.
not comply
Yep.
or
Yep.
something. Yeah. So we were walking, and I was like, "Thanks so much for coming. It was so fun to shoot your guns." Blah blah. Blah. And then he's like, "Yeah, I'll definitely have to whatever catch another one." And then I was like, "Hey, did you know Tom Woods is here?" And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, like he's actually here." And I was like, "I just figured, you're with LP Mises Caucus, you might know Tom Woods." And then and he's like, "Oh yeah, I do." And then I was like, "Actually," and then we were at the end of this like super long hallway. And I turned around and I'm like, "Oh, actually, if you turn around, he's like right there." And he was like at the very beginning of the hallway. So it was
And
really
wasn't it true that like he walked past him and like didn't believe it was him because he's like, no, that can't be Tom
Yeah.
Woods. That must be some other dude. Like,
Yeah, that's what he
Yeah.
said. He was like, "Earlier, I actually saw him," and he was like, he just blended in with everybody that it like didn't even register that it was actually Tom Woods.
Yeah.
So he's like, "All right, well, I'll see you later." And he like turned around. He like had all his like range gear and he was like packed up. And he went all the way back just to say hi to Tom Woods.
It was kind of
really
funny
fun.
because it's like, you go to the event and you think, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to, see these people. And you're like, awesome. And then it's like somebody else also very cool walks by and it's like hard to believe that they're also there. You know what I mean? So it was kind of a nice surprise that whoever came to the event got to have some really cool hangouts with all different types of people, hang out with some Mises Caucus people, and get hooked up with some really cool guns and ammo while they were there. So whoever came and stayed, for that range event thing, like, killed it basically. They shot hundreds of dollars in ammo. A lot of thanks to Jesse. So thank you, Jesse, if you're watching this. Seriously, you're awesome. That was super cool. And then we hung out.
He's a OG gunsmith and trainer.
Yeah.
He like teaches women self-defense. He's in Kansas. He's really into freedom.
He has his own private training field, right? I remember he told us he has basically several different types of stands and stalls for different types of self-defense training. So you can actually fire in multiple directions where everything has backstops, and trees and stuff like that. So you're not going to worry that, you're going to hit a neighbor or something. It's like, lots of acres and stuff. So he has like training for dynamic situations. So it's pretty intense.
That'd be fun to go to Kansas, actually, on that note.
Maybe one day.
I was like, why am I leaning? But I could just move.
So when we went to the VIP, one of the crazy things that happened that was funny was our event sponsor, Mark Tancer of Tiger Trading. I wasn't expecting this. Oh, hold on real quick. I got to jump in because Muddied Waters just says,
hey,
stop by to say we can't wait for the Spike event in July. Will Tom be there?
Wow.
I cannot commit for Tom.
Hey, this must be, can I say his name?
Well, I don't know if it's Matt or Spike on. It's either Matt or Spike.
But they are Matt. Okay. Hey, Matt or Spike.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's currently controlling the helm of Muddied Waters at this moment.
Would Spike say the Spike event?
I mean, he might if he's trying to like hide the fact that he's the one, right? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, the Spike event. That's not me, of course, guys. I don't know. Maybe it's Matt, but of course, Muddy Wars Media is going to be there at this next event with Spike. Obviously with Matt and stuff because they're going to be doing, I believe. Well, I don't want to give any spoilers. They're going to be doing something. I'm not going to say exactly, just in case there's a spoiler element to that. But they're going to be hanging out and coming out to the event.
Maybe you'll see them right here.
Who knows? Ooh. Yeah, maybe they'll be stopping in here. So yes, thanks, Muddy Waters Media, and I'm going to assume Matt, if not Spike,
it's probably
pretending
Matt.
To be not Spike.
Right? I'm not sure. Or is it Tasha's husband?
Yeah, or is it? Yeah, or is it Tasha? Right? She secretly took it over. So we got to VIP. Mark Tancer, who was event sponsor. He broke out some serious gold and silver. We didn't think that because he was going to hand out business cards in terms of just telling people about his gold and silver trading, and then all of a sudden he pulls out a bag and he's got like all this gold and silver there, and all of a sudden there was like, oh, okay, cool.
Basically, if you don't have your own Jewish banker,
yeah, just kidding. You can get one with Mark Tancer, that's for sure. But he brought out some great stuff, and we picked up some stuff too. Taggart Trading. Well,
Taggart Trading.
I'll tag him later. But basically, all of a sudden we're hanging out in the VIP, and he's like, "So guys, by the way," and he like brings it out. It's like all this gold and silver. It's like it looks like someone brought out a pirate treasure chest or something.
He had a giant like silver bar, I believe, just like sitting right
Yeah,
there.
he had like a 10-ounce silver bar. Yeah.
On an ottoman.
And then of course, we picked up a little bit stuff. Other people picked up some cool stuff. So it was great.
That, my friends, is called Agora. Spontaneous Agora.
It was a spontaneous VIP Agora.
Yeah. So Mark was cool. He was a great highlight. Erica, free knots.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, if we're going to keep going. All right. So there was other people who do stuff in Liberty who actually showed up as well, which is cool. We had Alex.
We mentioned LPMC. Already.
Right. We had Robert Vincent came from LPMC. We had Alex Vidal of Free Knots, and some might recognize him as the MC of Anarchapulco. So Alex was there.
Also a libertarian rapper or ANCAP rapper or volunteer.
Right.
Okay, but he has made music for longer than me.
Mm-hmm.
And you should listen to it. It's really cool. And I was in a music video and Mark Tanzer was too. So you can look for that. It's like a gold nugget.
Yeah, hidden secret gem.
Yeah, Easter egg.
And then Erica, who runs basically some of the largest Bitcoin meetups and stuff like that, cryptocurrency conferences in Florida, was there as well.
In Miami.
And she was sharing some crypto knowledge and, stuff that's going on in the crypto world. She's more,
crypto
boots on the ground with that stuff, active, doing all different types of either seminars or talk about ICOs and stuff like that. So it was
getting people to get their first wallets, Bitcoin wallets, and sending them their first Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. So really cool. She's a big evangelist, and it was so fun. There was lots of people you could talk to about so many things, and I just think everyone looks so free,
Right. No, and that was it. I mean,
great.
The thing is for everybody who came, it was very super relaxed and low key, accessible, easy to hang out, talk to people, just enjoy both the talk, the shooting event, the lounge and stuff like that.
Up too.
Oh yeah, we had some great pictures.
Just having those pictures and just to encapsulate the memory. So.
Right. I don't have all the pictures here, but here's one of some of us who were there. So yeah, there's a little picture of Liberty Doll. And her Hawaiian clad boo. Those are some nice pineapple grenades.
They are very nice.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just a crazy ton of fun. I mean, really, it was an amazing event that was beyond my wildest expectations. We really just made some great memories. Had some fun afterward, partied a bit, got some food. It was awesome.
It was really fun.
What was your favorite part?
Gosh, there were so many good parts. It was a long, fun day, It was a Saturday night and stayed up pretty late.
Yeah, to 4 a.m. Yeah.
It's very fun.
That's right.
Karaoke
was fun.
Sharing videos that we've all produced. It was fun.
Oh yeah. It was crazy. So on that note, again, for those who may have just jumped on and just want to remind everybody else too, I'm going to post in the comments as well.
Yeah,
our next
this is
event.
The next event.
Right. So next
Meet
event.
And greet range time, Saturday, July 17th. So after July 4th, Independence Day, celebrate some freedom with some guns. Reload gun range.
Right.
I just love that name. That's exactly what we're gonna do there. We're gonna reload gun range, and then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna. I know that Spike obviously is gonna be there. His wife Tasha's gonna be there. Matt's gonna be coming. They're gonna hang out with some people from the Muddy Waters podcast, stuff like that. So it's gonna just be another huge kind of you could say
Thanks,
mini
Walter.
Liberty conference. PorcFest Light or Freedom Fest Light. You could say, yeah.
Rebrand.
Right, PorcFest Light. Yeah. Rebranded as part of it.
Will they come after us? Do they believe in IP?
No, they don't. They don't.
Ha! We're gonna
They'll
take
just be
it.
mad at us because we've never been to PorcFest. They'll just be pissed.
Well, it's not my fault that you're all the way up there in cold Northeast.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. And I have to go through the most state of states to get to you. I'm sorry.
It can be rough. But nonetheless, maybe one day.
Meh.
Yeah, but even then it's
then you have to deal with the federal tyranny.
Right, TSA trying to
molestation
rape everybody out
by
here
the TSA. Yeah, getting raped.
Get basically fly a private plane. if you don't want to get
Can't
raped.
bring a bottle.
Right, and then there's all the masking stuff they try to push, and it's just
Like,
it's crazy.
You could wear a loincloth on your mouth.
Right.
And they're like, all right, you're going to go. You're protecting everybody. It's a fucking loincloth. Like, I swear.
mean, they're a little actually more strict in the TSA from what I've read that, you actually have to have something that is fitted. Like they actually
Yeah, but it
require
could
that.
be like a cloth
But it could be
mask
garbage.
of
Yeah,
any
like,
kind. Like,
right, yeah.
seriously,
It's
just
total
it's
nonsense.
fitted, but it's cloth. It doesn't matter the material. It's just literally just
right.
Anyway.
But
so, can you? But they don't even allow face shields, right?
No, unless you're
so
doing it
much
because
easier.
you're ADA exempt.
And also, if you sneeze, it's like, look, that's gonna go right on the shield. And if I have a wipe, I could just like wipe that, and it's disinfected, quick, easy. But when you have a cloth mask, that's just there. That's not.
Yeah, if you
can't
cough
like
into
wash.
it,
You have to
right,
get rid of that, get a new one to actually get rid of the bacteria.
It's all freaking theater.
But do people do that? No. They would let you go on, and how do they know you weren't wearing that gross cloth mask for like 5 days in a row? And then like all you do is you hang it on your car, and like it's hot in your car, or you don't even get sun in your state, so it's just there accumulating mold. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
no, I mean I think that's a ridiculous point. Like
they don't check it either. I would get it if they're like, nope, whatever you're wearing, throw it away. Here's a fresh new one, and then when you get off, throw it away, get another fresh new one. Like, you know what I mean? Like that would be consistent with PPE practices.
Right, but they don't care.
They don't do that. They don't care about the
right.
sterility. It
doesn't
matter. It doesn't matter the material. It doesn't matter if it's for medical use or not.
Well, I mean, it's just a good point. Just the idea is the mask itself even like clean in the first place? Like, what if your mask already has corona on it, for example?
What if you went to the bathroom 20 times?
Right.
You went number 2, or
there's no requirement that your mask even has to be clean. You can have like a dirty, it's got like bacteria, like really bad bacteria on it, or like fungi or whatever. Oh, but it's on your face, so whatever. Who cares? Like, yeah, it's just all freaking made up. It's all fantasy. So.
And then imagine if you are wearing a dirty mask and you actually do sneeze.
Right, now it's just sitting there.
Now you just like you pushed it with your breath.
Yeah.
All that gunky stuff on your mask. Like, it's just gross. And also, it's so alarming to just see people with masks. Like, I was talking to you the other day, like when we go around and someone comes up to me, and even if they're friendly and they're like, hey, and they're like, all you see is their eyes, and I didn't mean to hit the mic, but you just see their eyes and they're like, hey, for a moment you're a little alarmed, or at least I am, because you can't really, if you can't see their mouth or their nose or their cheeks, and you just see their eyes and it just squints, that usually is not enough right away to tell you if someone is alarmed or they're happy or not. Like, you really need to see the rest of their face to really tell quickly what their intentions are. You know what I mean? Like, so it's also like very alarming to see so many masked people all the time. And usually it's like I can't register them. It just feels like NPC. Not that they are. I'm just saying, like, the effect of which is like, because I see no expression, it just looks like an NPC face. It just looks like, okay, I can't really see your expression.
Oh yeah.
Unless they project their voice and demonstrate with their voice that they're friendly. Like, hi, how are you? Like, okay, then I can tell, but it's through the voice and not the face. So yeah.
Yeah. No,
anyway,
yeah. That's lost too, especially on kids.
Order.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's all nonsense. I'm just excited that more and more people are getting tired of it, which is good. Obviously, it's just getting worse.
The events.
Right, yeah. And
it's been a nice year so far in terms of events. I've been really happy. Like, I would say since about the end of last year, like after summer, I would say things like lightened up all around here. So it was nice to just see friends and see them in person. I was feeling really like in the middle of 2020, just like, isolated. So it was so nice, especially when they canceled the events and stuff. I was just like, man, when are people going to just say, enough is enough? Let's just keep living our lives. We like stop asking for and waiting for permission and just like do the best we can, be as healthy as we can, and live. So it's been nice. And the event was a great, top of it all. And it's not the last one. this year we have so many events. We have the event coming up with Spike, but even before that, we're going to Tom's house to shoot part of the music video called Tom Wood's House. Yeah. But
Yeah,
so
that's
that'll
gonna be
be
so
really
much
fun.
fun.
Yeah, we got a lot of props, and you know, if you saw ANCAP Grind, you saw Black and Yellow, and we got some outfits. So
yeah, anyone who's gonna be going to Tom Wood's house for his supporting listener meetup, you will see us there. We're going to be doing a little shooting first, that is film shooting, and then we might get some crowd shots later, depending on who consents, because consent is going to be
we care about
precursor.
Consent. We're going to ask everyone individually if they consent,
right,
before we do anything.
Yeah, anyone who wants to appear in the video, we might have a form just to affirm their consent that they want to be shot in the video. But we're going to see about that. Yeah. We're definitely going to be shooting a lot of scenes and B-roll for the music video for Tom Wood's house there, before crowds get there and stuff too. So it'll be interesting. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we're going to try to make something funny and fun.
I'm excited to see the finished product. I think whatever it is, I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
So.
And basically, Tom needs to just do he has one line that he has for the music video that he needs to do properly.
What is it?
He said he won't dance, but I'm definitely going to get him to act. He will act. I will get Tom to act.
He won't dance?
I don't know. We'll figure out a way to maybe he'll post up. He'll just be in the back,
Oh, just like
yeah,
that.
Tom will just be posting up, looking all cool.
So funny.
But he has one line to deliver, and we got to bring out his best act, so we'll see. And then we'll probably be shooting some more footage when we go to the 2000s podcast event, which again, that'll be super fun.
That's in
October.
October?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you're going to Tom Wood's 2000th podcast event, which there's a supporters only portion and I think a public portion. So you can go, even if you're not a supporting listener, you can go to the public event part and hang out and do some stuff. And we'll be, of course, hanging out for fun there too, and possibly doing a little bit of shooting as well, depending on how the cuts come out from Tom Wood's house for the music video and whether or not it's sufficient to cut there or if we're going to do some other sequences. But we might do some other sequences because there's people who are going to be at Tom Wood's 2000 who we want in the video because they're just mentioned and be funny. So we'll see how it flexes. But Michael Bolden.
Yeah.
that's one to start.
Of the 10th.
Probably Michael Heiss. I don't know that Michael Malice is going to want to show his face. I have big doubts about that one.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll dress up like a Korean dictator again.
That'd be funny. He was dressed up like a Korean dictator last time.
Yeah,
North Korean, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Hey, Dan. Thanks, Nevada Cario. It's nice to be live streaming. I know it's been a while, but part of it's been these events, music. It's been nice spreading liberty, finding places that don't give you crap about not wearing a mask, and also inspiring people to take off their mask. We've had a lot of interactions where, we get someone, we just come in, we don't have a mask, and no one says anything. And eventually they take off their mask a little for some reason they choose to or whatever. Actually, one girl made an excuse. She told a story or something and she I don't know, had a reason to show you her face. And I was like, I love seeing her smile. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. She
let's check it off.
She's and she felt comfortable. She took it off.
Sounds
like I'm talking about a strip club. She felt so comfortable.
Right.
She took it off. She took it off. Talking about her mask.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I really enjoy those interactions of just inspiring people that hey, this is stupid. I'm healthy. All right. I wash my hands. Okay. I'm going to take this shit off.
Yeah.
Just inspire people that it's really dumb, especially if they're just wearing a cloth mask. So.
Of course. No, I had that experience too. I was in a gun store and there's a family and I wasn't wearing a mask. They're like, you don't have to wear this here. I'm like, if you don't want to. And they're like, oh, okay. And they all together took it off. The whole family. I'm like,
right,
cool.
They had kids. Yeah.
You just gotta. Sometimes it really is funny, but inspiring disobedience is just that one first act of bravery. You know what I mean? You do it, and then all of a sudden, someone else gets the gall or the bravery to courage to be like, hey, okay, maybe I'll try doing this too, and it has a domino effect. It has a ripple effect with it.
I mean, it's part of culture. You yourself, like where you go, you're helping to set that culture, and the thing that I see is if you're going into a place and you're going in maskless and they specifically say like, hey, like we just don't allow you, just politely say okay, and just note that they're somebody that doesn't allow you, if you
Right. Yeah.
some like
You're always
they
free
just
to just check and see. Like, and if they really don't want you there, I mean, you could
yeah,
choose to just respect their property rights and just leave, and it's whatever. It's annoying, but
it is annoying,
if
and
yeah, if the business is doing it just because of government orders, you know what I mean? Like, which is basically most businesses. Like, literally, most businesses are not doing this because they
they're
think,
doing
oh
it
yeah,
because
we
they're
really
scared, like
right,
they don't want to get in trouble.
right. They're just doing it
If
because the
they had
government said to.
sheriffs or not
Right.
cops knocking on their door, they just don't want that to happen.
And
They
usually you
d-
just tell
yeah.
because it's like they say pursuant to county order or whatever state mandate or whatever. So whenever you see those signs, it's like, okay, first cue. They're not saying we want you to wear a mask. They're saying the government wants you to wear a mask. And if you do that, then it's like, okay, well then use the government against them. Just say you're medically exempt and move on. It's one of those things where it's like, if they personally want you not there, then okay, well that's their prerogative. Like the actual owner or manager says, no, independently, we don't want people. And it's like, okay, well, then I'm gonna take my business elsewhere, and that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I found that most places, like, they, especially big corporations, I think they understand.
Mhm.
Like, they have lawyers that know federal laws.
Yeah, they give them the whole rundown. If you're a bigger company, they'll give the employees rundown like, oh, okay, we got to accommodate this with the ADA and stuff. So
Right. And that, okay, if someone says medical exemption, you cannot ask for proof or whatever.
Right. You can't be like, what's your medical condition?
Right.
Then?
That's part of like your medical privacy.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's like most corporations. So I'm just saying, like, I know there are a lot of people who are just so tired of it. And I just think, like, look, it's been a year. It's been over a year now. It's April. This crap started in March, So I just think, like, hopefully where you are, you're not in one of those ridiculous, like, hotbeds of statism like New York City or something. But if you're not, I think, like, just be brave and go out, like go to different restaurants, like just maskless and just see, like, it's like a social experiment. And especially if you're not on a time crunch and you don't mind, like, being like, okay, I'm not going to go inside if someone's like, whatever, I just think, now's the time to just show that we can go back to normal and things are fine. Like, let's not, get really irrational here and afraid of something that has a really high survival rate. So
yeah, or just is total nonsense for most anybody who is just under 60 and stuff. Like, the reality is most people are going to be fine. You're literally going to be no different than if you had a cold or flu in terms of symptoms from, again, most people. And pretending like as if it's anything other than that is just insanity. It's just hypochondria. You know what I mean? It's not based in any empirical evidence around the literal world. Like, it's literally the total opposite of what they said. But largely because most of the reporting is done around, bad framing biases, as like just talking about case rates, which is just, oh, I tested positive whether you're infectious or not, and not infection fatality rates. In other words, like, oh, how many people are actually sick, not just, oh, who chose to get tested or chose to go to the hospital, but like when you look at those samples of how many people are truly infected compared to that, and you're like, oh, actually, okay, yeah, it's just not that bad.
And testing positive for COVID doesn't always mean you're symptomatic.
Right. You can test positive.
What the heck? Right. and also, like, there's studies that show that asymptomatic spread is just not a thing.
That was the largest study that was conducted by it was Chinese scientists, Australian and UK scientists who did a joint study out of Wuhan. It was like about 1,100 people they studied, and they contact traced like 300 people who had no symptoms. And there was 300 people they contact traced about 324, I think, and 1,100 contacts, and they said none of the people got sick afterwards. So, by and large, again, it's just, typically if you're not symptomatic, no matter what, if you're not presenting symptoms, you're not typically spreading. whether it's
Oh,
on
okay.
surfaces or.
So they contact trace about 300 people, and those 300 people they
Had some over
found
1,100 contacts, and
over
there's none of them.
1,100
Right.
contacts with other people.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Right.
So, and that was like part of the stupid story and the lies last year. It's just like, oh my gosh,
Mhm.
you're healthy, aka you're healthy, but they're like, oh, you're asymptomatic, new term to make it like scary, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, but you could have COVID and you could pass it asymptomatically. And when that's debunked, that should be like headline news, right? Like you should really question the news agency that's not headline news, Like,
Mhm.
oh, new discovery, something that we scared you about. Whoops, sorry, we were wrong. Like there's no corrections. They just keep
Mhm.
piling on lies or like just changing the narrative. So
Yeah, they can just keep saying, "Oh, well, that's the best information we had at the time, right?"
and they
Right.
rely on
Not that you're
people.
wrong and why you're wrong. Mhm.
Yeah, and they rely on people who have a memory of a goldfish. Like they
Mm.
don't remember that first it was like, hey, just a 2-week lockdown to slow the spread because we're socialists and we don't see how hospitals can decide how to increase their capacity when demand increases. Like
Mhm.
like that was the first thing. And then people like continued to be locked down, and they changed it from deaths, looking at deaths, to then looking at cases, and then like pushing testing, right? That was a big thing. Really pushing testing,
Mhm.
testing to go to work, testing to whatever, testing to travel, quarantines, and all that. So that went up and could contribute to just like cases rising, in that just a lot of people were being forced to take tests just to go to work, just
Mhm.
to leave.
Right. Especially when you
So
have a high error rate, you're just the
yeah.
more you test, the more you increase the chance that there's a false positive. Yeah.
Right. And then there was all this narrative around, oh, the vaccine, and oh my gosh, I'm not going to take the vaccine because Trump is president, and da 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 da. And then he gets out and it's like, oh yeah, let's all take the vaccine that he
Mhm.
literally that I wasn't going to take when he was in power,
Right. Yeah.
It's just so crazy that
It's a political. It has nothing to
what
do
you
with the.
see is there is a sea of people, just a mass of people who just go along with whatever authority figures are saying.
Mhm.
Like they're the ones who are like, oh no, we're still in lockdown in the 5th month. Why? Oh, it's because people didn't follow the mandates. Oh my gosh, like what a slave mindset that they've gotten, a lot of people. It's horrible, to just be like, oh, I can't be free because like other people just refuse to be enslaved.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally the message that they've gotten a lot of people, young people, kids. I mean, think of all the kids who can't see their friends, can't go to school. I mean, I don't like public school, all that, but to the point where they are totally socially isolated. They're only in remote schooling, and they can't actually physically see their friends anyway, even if they're all like virtually schooling from home. Like they're not allowed, So it's just so sad to see that there's a lot of these kids who are just locked down, but they don't see that they're not free. A lot of them, they just think that it's right, and they're really scared. They've got
Mhm.
these kids so afraid of something that these kids have more of a chance than most other age groups to survive, like middle school, high school, young adults, like with healthy immune systems.
I mean, just saying more of a chance doesn't even really capture the gravity. It's just basically you're not dying. Like, I mean, you're not dying. You're not having serious, debilitating injury or long-term illness. It's all nonsense. Like,
yeah,
the 0 to 17, bracket it's a joke.
it's another form of it's a cold, right?
Right.
Another form of the cold,
Coronavirus family is a family of colds. Yeah.
right? Yeah,
But it's something that is so you could say manipulated to just instill a constant state of fear, just like almost like the war on terror in that way, where it's like, oh, there, it's never ending. There's
right.
always going to be something, some new mutation or strain, and you're never going to be safe enough no matter what happens. You always need to live in fear and give up all your liberties and be treated as if you're a slave who has to like prove their identity and health at every possible transaction. It's very Orwellian, or I don't even know if Orwellian's appropriate, just dystopian to say the least.
It is, yeah. it is a um it is a world where either you're amongst the humans, either you're a tax slave or you're a tax slave owner, like a
Hmm.
beneficiary, or you're actually enslaved. And we want a world where no one is just enslaved,
Hmm.
and that we could all be free and have our own property and associate that way. And
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
see where the chips fall after that based on property rights. I mean, that'd just be such a better, saner, healthier world. And there'd be so much more creativity and things built up than all this destruction and bombs. Like you probably wouldn't have nukes. Like it just all these I don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
But it's just like so much
You wouldn't have
difference.
as much economic incentive to make nuclear weapons for sure.
Right. But I can't
But
say that. There
you
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
say that you
some individual
right.
who wouldn't want to just spend all their life's
Or they
fortune
find a way
to
to get to. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I think the main core takeaway is just that when it comes to battling the fear-based mindset that's been so pushed in the media and by the government, I think just the way to, in my opinion, change the culture is to just live free, and basically rest in the fact that most people are eventually either going to, get it, and get over it, or have their shots and whatever, and then just be like, okay, you should be living free, right? Either you had it already or you had your shot. Take your pick. They told you you're going to be free, and just, basically hold them up to their own standard and say, it's time to go back to normal, right? It's time to be free again, right? And live free, and not, kowtow to any type of new mandates or new types of controls, because otherwise, those in the media and those in the government will try to just keep moving the goalpost forever. So, just reminding people, hey, right, it's time to go back. It's time to be free. Let's take, the stuff down, right? Because, people got it and got over it at this point, or, they're going to take a shot, which again, that's your choice. I wouldn't do it,
we
but
see that sentiment around here.
yeah,
Now, of course, I can't speak for where you are, but
right.
it just differs, right? It just at the end of the day, it's just human action and human culture. So, um, if you can, get out there, trade, specialize, get in the market, make a name for yourself, like build your network, it's important. It's important. Just, take care of yourself. It's actually productive towards liberty. Build a family. Build a family based on peace and love and nonviolence. Cool. You're helping to build a world for liberty,
Mm-hmm.
You trade your skills. Maybe you get Liberty Classroom for your kids. I don't know, but like it all just helps, I think. And anyway, I feel like I have to say that message a lot because, especially if you become a libertarian, it's so easy to be like, gosh, what the heck could I do to get liberty tomorrow? And it's just the truth that liberty is it takes a culture change, it takes a mindset change, and for that it does take a long time. Just like the statists and the commies, like they had long, like 10-year plans of indoctrination and propaganda and blah 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 to try and change minds to be commie or socialist. It's in the same way. Like we're part of that trying to change culture, but for us it's towards liberty and principled individual liberty. So um anyway, so I just think people who are doing that, they really are affecting a great change. They're helping to build the next generation of people who really love and value liberty. They're helping to build the generation of people who love philosophy and actually care about reason and evidence and not just believing whatever for no foundation or basis, and genuinely being open minded and caring about what is true and what is false to the best of their ability to understand, So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So on
So
that
that's
note
what
of
we'll
getting
do at
out
the
there and
events.
changing culture, right? We're gonna be just doing some more events and just getting out there as best we can, and networking, having fun, trying to build that culture and stuff like that. So for those who may have just come in a little bit later, just remind you that coming up very soon, as in soon, I mean 3
It's
months.
Tasha
July.
and Tasha's husband.
Right. Spike and Tasha. We're doing another range
Sorry.
event
It's
Saturday,
not
July 17th. Reload gun range. There's going to be 3 different separate sections. So basically, you can get tickets to this and check it out at fightevents.com. And we're going to keep doing more fun things. Hopefully, we'll see many people, I'd say, among all the things we're going to be doing, because it's very possible you could see us at Tom Wood's house. It's possible you could see
there's
us.
so many events.
Right? You could see
I'm
us.
so excited. I'm
the
making up
Spike
for
event.
2020. I was like, we gotta make up for 2020. I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being locked in. I want to be free. Okay, anyway.
Basically.
So that's what 2021 is all about.
Extra events.
Take off the masks.
Yeah. And have
Touch
fun and party.
each other, but like with consent and
Right.
like in healthy
Consent
ways.
first.
Yeah.
So at Tom Wood's house, at possibly
What's going on?
the Florida LP convention, at
Yeah.
the Spike Cohen
Florida
event.
LP
Yeah, we'll be
convention.
tabling.
Yeah, we'll be tabling.
The event that's with Spike July 17th.
Yeah.
The Todd Woods 2000th for sure, and probably some other things in between. We're going to see about scheduling some more events and see who else we can get to do things. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to keep trying.
That's pretty much most of them. Maybe a Mises Institute supporter summit event, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that too. Who knows? Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna just have fun, and make the most of it.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, Travis, consent and safe words. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much,
I don't
everybody
want
who
this.
hung out here to the end.
Love you too, Charlie. Thanks for
Bye,
being
JC.
here.
Annika Rika. Travis Wall is still here.
Thanks, Rika.
Thank you for
Thanks,
chilling.
Patriot Paladin. Now
Thanks,
I want to play a
Drew.
PC game
Nevada
back in
Cario.
the medieval time.
So, all right. Take care, everybody. We'll hang out again
Thanks
soon and
for
catch on up.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thanks,
Real quick. Someone
Justin.
threw in something. So he says, what are your thoughts on Biden's no amendments or absolute comments, Justin? All right. So you want to take that? Real quick before we go here.
I think he's bye. I think he's thank you. He's I don't know, a clown.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's 2 different perspectives. I would say you have the ethical perspective, voluntarist perspective, which I have, of course, which is that, of course, no amendments are absolute because the Constitution has no authority in and of itself to bind me to anything. I didn't come up with it, consent to it, whatever. When he's talking about no amendments are absolute in terms of the Constitution, I mean, technically in terms of legal stuff,
because you can repeal it,
right?
Like, technically, that's true.
What he's saying is technically true. I mean, it's not like it's not from even a conservative, perspective, and I'm saying conservative in terms of you could say originalist or textualist interpretation of Constitution. I mean, yeah, technically, right? I mean, you can replace any amendment using your typical processes of supermajority and the states, and so I mean, technically it's true, but I mean, he's not using it in that way. I
he's
think
saying amendments, right? He's not saying Bill of Rights.
Well, it doesn't matter because any of that could be changed by amendment to the Constitution, but using the amendment process. But the Bill of Rights, the first amendments. But the point is that the amendments are absolute. It's just technically true. I mean, of course, they could always be changed. Even there's a process for amending the Constitution. But the problem with his commentary, I would say, is that he's using it to say, "Oh, we can ignore what they are as it stands, not overturn it, but just literally treat it as if it doesn't exist," which of course many courts have been doing for a long time, pretending that shall not be infringed means anything other than shall not be infringed. So,
yeah,
right.
But isn't that still does that go against his oath to the Constitution at all? Saying that,
it's just silly because every single
on which amendment.
Look, John Hosnas wrote a great law review article. It's called The Myth of the Rule of Law. Go read The Myth of the Rule of Law. He's associate professor at Georgetown. I liked his work when I was in law school. It's just nonsense. The reality is that the Constitution has been interpreted by the Supreme Court historically to basically mean whatever. And again, whether you want to believe that the founders had a certain intent, whether it's originalism or textualism, whatever, doesn't matter. Those in the government think that they can get away with doing whatever you want. So again, you can
at the end of the day
talk about it all day.
They're a monopoly on violence,
right?
And if you have power, that monopoly on violence, well, pretty sure it doesn't matter. You could do what you want. I mean, he came in, he did all the executive orders, even though last year he's like, that's really dictator like of Trump to do all these executive orders.
Right. And then,
and then the first day he comes in, he has this giant stack.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a freaking
right.
joke. It's just a show. It's just
Right.
drama. It's just to distract you and to be like, he's against my side.
Right.
My side. But like both of our sides, if you're talking about, big state Republican, big state Democrats, they're both like pro warfare, welfare state. They're pro Federal Reserve. They're pro heavy taxation. They're pro whatever crony corporate deals and stuff, and giving certain legislation and passing certain legislation to favor their friends and their friends' businesses. I mean, it's the same thing. So it's just, anyway, I think it's just more of a distraction. You just gotta focus more on what are we talking about here. We got to change the culture to value and understand what does it mean to have individual body and property rights. That's more important to me. Is to get people to understand that first, because then they could look at things like the Second Amendment and understand like what that actually is supposed to be. Enshrining there, your right to self-defense, your right to defend your life.
Right. It's the idea is that the property rights and individual, autonomy and sovereignty itself should transcend words on paper. Because again, words on paper don't do anything of themselves. They're not self-executing. It's all human psychology. You have to change people's minds to respect other people's, bodies and properties in the first place. Because no matter what's written on a word, on words on paper, that doesn't change anything. If someone wants to use violence because they're in the government and they're like, well, we're just going to, institute a dictatorship. And then they're like, well, there's words on paper. It's like, okay, is that going to
get
change
a culture
that?
of people through Hollywood propaganda or whatever to be like, ooh, you don't need an AR. like, and then just like, all right, yeah, let's just ban ARs. Woohoo. Just, anyway, if you don't get people to value that, like it just doesn't, it doesn't matter what they pass. It doesn't matter what the paper says.
Right.
As even shown with like words like the Second Amendment. I'm sure the people writing it at the time were like, okay, that's pretty clear. Shall not be infringed.
Right.
They're like, okay, is that going to be like interpreted? No, right? Shall not be infringed. Right. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not like.
It didn't. That didn't hold up enough, did it? Right.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that's actually a really good example to me of like, dude, it literally says shall not be infringed. The right to hold arms, and they infringe it all the time.
Right.
And they can reinterpret it. And they also, the key here is they convince a lot of people, voters, because we're in a stupid Democrat society where people can vote against your rights. These people to be like, all right, yeah, it's based on need. We're commies now. Like,
yeah, it's exactly.
Property
the
is
Constitution
based on
is
not like
illusory.
voluntary trade or actual property rights. It's just need. Do you need this? Yeah. And that's so subjective. But
you need ethical philosophy and culture change. Like words on paper alone are not, what really is, what is being done. It's the intents of the human actors who are acting. And until you change enough people's minds and change the culture enough that kind of action is not tolerated. In other words, those who are enacting tyranny are immediately dealt with as the tyrants that they are. If you get what I'm saying. Then you just have a continued growth toward bigger government and more intervention and loss of rights. So, but that's changing soon, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, come practice your Second Amendment rights.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, so come to the Range event. That'll be fun. Meet Spike. He's really funny. Matt's really funny. I'm excited. Ask him about what happened when he ran as a LP vice presidential candidate.
He did 2 runs. He had one with Vermin Supreme and with Joe Jordan.
Oh, that's right. Because he did a pre-vote for me for LP, and then he was the official. Yeah. But have fun. Talk to us.
Yeah.
Anyway, otherwise, we'll see you around online. Either way, live free, enjoy life, disobey.
And we'll talk to y'all later.